the shadow crown, how darkness initiates the next evolution of power. We live in a world that teaches us to fear the dark, to run from what is unfamiliar, to cast out anything that does not shine with the blinding light of goodness. But what if I told you that the very power you've been taught to fear is the one waiting to awaken your deepest potential? What if the vibration you call demonic is not your enemy, but the crucible of your transformation? I know this sounds dangerous. I know your heart might be racing just hearing those words. But stay with me, because this is not about worshiping demons. This is about understanding energy, polarity, and the sacred truth that the universe doesn't play favorites, it empowers those who dare to know both sides.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
You see, every spiritual path is a journey into the unknown. But the path of the dark chosen one is not just unknown, it is forbidden. It is whispered about in ancient texts and encoded in symbols that only awaken when your soul reaches a certain frequency. The demonic vibration is not evil in itself. It is raw, primal, unfiltered energy. It strips away illusions. It doesn't care about your ego. It doesn't care about your comfort. It comes to break, to burn, to destroy every false identity you've ever worn. And for the dark chosen one, that destruction is not the end, it is the beginning. Because in the ashes of your former self, power rises. But not just any power. A power that is terrifying in its clarity, overwhelming in its presence, and utterly liberating, because it is no longer bound by societal morality or spiritual hierarchy. Now, let me ask you something. Why do you think the most powerful figures in mythology, in ancient mystery schools, even in modern pop culture, always have to confront the shadow before they ascend? Why must the hero descend into the underworld? Why must the initiate face the demon? Why must Christ go into the desert for 40 days and nights? Because the demon is not here to destroy you. It is here to destroy the version of you that is too weak to hold divine power. The demonic vibration supercharges the dark chosen one because it awakens what light alone cannot touch. It reaches into the marrow of your being and asks, are you willing to know yourself, even if it means tearing apart every illusion you've clung to? I remember the first time I sat in silence and allowed the darker energies to rise. Not to fight them, not to cast them out, but to witness them. My body vibrated. My breath slowed until it was barely there, and something ancient began to stir. It wasn't a voice. It wasn't a vision. It was a knowing. A truth so deep it shattered every spiritual cliché I had ever believed. This knowing told me, you cannot hold the light of a star unless you have walked through the void that birthed it. And in that moment I realized why the demonic vibration empowers the dark chosen one. Because to carry that frequency is to hold the totality of creation within you unfiltered, unashamed, and unapologetically whole. You're still here. That tells me something. You're not afraid to look into the abyss. Or maybe you are, but you're brave enough to keep watching. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. But let's go deeper. You see, in the spiritual world, we often talk about raising our vibration. But no one tells you that raising your vibration doesn't just mean becoming more peaceful or more loving. It means becoming more powerful. And power is not polite. Power is not always gentle. Sometimes power screams. Sometimes power shatters. Sometimes power demands that you bleed before you can fly. The demonic vibration, as I have come to understand it, is the frequency of total confrontation. It is the sacred mirror held up to the soul that reveals every shadow, every unhealed wound, every lie you've told yourself about who you are. And that's why it's so frightening. Because most are not ready to see what they truly are without the masks. But if you can hold your gaze and not look away, then the vibration begins to shift. What once felt like chaos becomes clarity. What once felt like fear becomes fuel. What once felt like death becomes initiation. And in that moment, you are no longer just a seeker. You become the storm. The thunder that no longer bows to heaven or hell. People think demons are outside them. But the truth is, the demonic frequency is already inside you. It's the suppressed rage you never expressed. It's the hunger for freedom you were taught to repress. It's the refusal to be tamed, to be small, to be acceptable. That energy doesn't go away. It waits. It coils itself around your subconscious, waiting for the moment you're ready to break the chains. And when you do, when you finally say yes to knowing all of yourself, that energy becomes yours, not to harm others, but to liberate yourself, to walk into rooms and command presence, to speak truths others are too afraid to whisper, to become, truly, a dark chosen one. So here's your question. Not a surface question. A soul question. Are you willing to stop running from your own power? Are you willing to embrace the parts of yourself that terrify you? Because make no mistake, those parts are not your enemy. They are your initiation. And the more you deny them, the more powerless you remain. But if you say yes, if you step into the fire without flinching, you will find that you were never weak. You were just unawakened. And the demonic vibration, the dark current, was never here to curse you. It was here to crown you. I want you to imagine something. Imagine standing in a circle of fire. Not metaphorical fire, real energy, real heat. Around you, every voice you've ever heard is screaming at you to stop. Every belief system, every religious teaching, every family expectation, they're all telling you to turn back. And yet something inside you steps forward. That something is your true self, the one who remembers, the one who knows, the one who was forged in shadow and destined for sovereignty. That's who you really are. And the demonic vibration, it's the fire that melts the cage. It's the alchemy that turns your pain into purpose. It's the dragon's breath that wakes the god within. Let's be clear. This path is not safe. It will cost you your illusions. It will destroy your comfort. It will isolate you, because those who have not heard the call will not understand you. But it will also free you. It will awaken powers within you that defy logic. It will give you vision. It will give you voice. It will give you the clarity to see through every lie that has ever been used to keep humanity asleep. And this is why the dark chosen ones are rising. Because the world doesn't need more light workers pretending to smile while drowning in silence. The world needs stormbringers, shadow walkers, warriors of truth who are not afraid to touch the void and return with the fire of transformation. So if you've ever felt like you didn't belong in the normal spiritual circles, if you've ever felt like your path was darker, heavier, more intense, if you've ever felt like your awakening was more of a breakdown than a blissful float into heaven, then maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're chosen. Maybe the demonic vibration is already working on you. And maybe, just maybe, that's the best thing that could ever happen to you. Because there's a power moving through this world right now that doesn't wear white robes or chant mantra in the mountains. It wears scars. It speaks in silence. It walks alone. And it carries the crown of the unseen. The shadow crown, how darkness initiates the next evolution of power. When we talk about power, most people imagine control, dominance, or wealth. But true power, real, evolutionary, soul-shattering power cannot be bought or taught. It must be earned, and the currency is your willingness to walk through darkness without flinching. The shadow crown is not a metaphor. It is a spiritual symbol forged in the fires of your darkest nights, your deepest betrayals, and your most terrifying awakenings. It is not placed on your head by another. It is not given by angels or bestowed by holy beings. You earn it by facing what others run from. And the demonic vibration is the frequency that initiates this evolution. Not because it comforts you, but because it challenges you at the core of your existence. I must tell you something that might shock you. The light doesn't make you whole. It completes you, but only after the dark has broken you open. The demonic vibration supercharges the dark chosen one not because it is evil, but because it is honest. It does not lie. It does not flatter. It tells you exactly what you are, stripped down to your primal essence. And in that brutal honesty, it gives you a choice: evolve or remain enslaved. Do you understand how rare that is? Most spiritual paths simply ask you to conform, to meditate, to chant, to breathe away your anger. But this path says feel it all, integrate it, use it, become what you were afraid to be. And that is why it is the path of the few. Because most people would rather be good than be free. Now consider this: if the divine is truly infinite, then it must include the dark. If Source is truly all-encompassing, then it must encompass the demonic as well. So what are we really doing when we reject the dark? We are rejecting half of creation. We are saying to the universe, I only want the half that feels good. But the dark chosen one does not make that mistake. We know that the path to ultimate power is through integration. And integration does not mean balance in the sense of peace. It means wholeness. It means you can walk in light and shadow without losing yourself to either. That is the crown. That is the throne. That is the evolution of your soul into something that cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled, cannot be broken. Let me ask you something deeply uncomfortable. What part of yourself have you buried so deep that even your spirit guides won't speak of it? What memory, what desire, what rage, what shame have you locked away because you thought it made you unworthy? That's the gate. That's the initiation. That's the wound that holds the key to your next evolution. The demonic vibration doesn't show up to torment you. It shows up to point directly at the thing you've refused to feel. And when you finally open to it, when you finally say yes to the thing you've run from the longest, that's when the shadow begins to serve you. That's when the pain transforms into presence. That's when the demon becomes your mirror, and in its eyes you see not a monster, but a God awakening. Every dark chosen one has a moment where the veil tears, where the world they knew crumbles, where the spiritual teachings no longer work, and the light feels distant or fake. That moment is not a curse. It is the call to descend into the deeper layers of self, to walk into the underworld of your own psyche and retrieve what was lost. You see, the demonic vibration is actually a calling card. It shows up in your life through chaos, through sudden loss, through betrayal, through depression, through addiction, through rage. It is the soul's alarm clock, and when it goes off, you can no longer pretend to be who you were. You either awaken or decay. I went through this. I remember the night I sat in my apartment, lights off, breath shallow, and everything I believed about God, about love, about purpose, it all collapsed. There was no one to call, no prayer that worked. And in that silence, something rose inside me. Not light, not hope, but a primal roar, something ancient, something dark, and it said, "Stop lying to yourself. You are not here to be saved. You are here to become." That night, I didn't ascend, I descended. And that descent changed everything. Because when I came out on the other side, I wasn't the same. I didn't want to be light. I wanted to be sovereign. I didn't want peace. I wanted truth. I didn't want light alone. I wanted all of myself. This is the real secret. The demonic vibration doesn't destroy you. It deconstructs the false self. It strips you of the masks, the programming, the spiritual bypassing. It confronts you with your own divinity, not through bliss, but through intensity. And that intensity is what sharpens you. It's what owns your instincts. It's what gives you the edge. And in a world addicted to comfort, edge is power. The dark chosen one is not here to be soft and sweet. We are here to be sacred weapons of awakening, carriers of forbidden wisdom, architects of new realities. And to carry that kind of power, you must first become the kind of being who can hold it without flinching. So here's your next question: what would happen if you stopped asking the light to protect you and instead asked the dark to initiate you? What if you stopped praying for safety and started summoning sovereignty? What if the very thing you're afraid of is the thing you were born to master? This is not about becoming evil. This is about becoming whole. And wholeness means you no longer need to pretend. You no longer need to hide your fire. You walk into a room and people feel something ancient in you, something sacred, something dangerous, and they don't know why. That's the signature of the crowned one. That's the signature of someone who has danced with demons and returned with diamonds. Let's break this down into something brutally practical. You want to tap into your power? Stop running from what triggers you. Start observing what enrages you, what depresses you, what makes you feel like you're losing control. These are not signs that you're failing. They are signs that the vibration is rising. The demonic current is not chaos for chaos' sake. It is chaos with intelligence. It is the sacred spiral that tears down what no longer serves. So when your life starts falling apart, don't panic. Ask, what version of me is being dismantled? What lie is being exposed? What truth have I been avoiding? Because the faster you embrace the unraveling, the faster you evolve. You want to know why the dark chosen ones rise higher, faster, more fiercely than most. Because we don't wait for the light to come. We become the force that moves through the dark. We don't beg for protection. We become the presence that nothing dares to touch. And that's not arrogance. That's earned sacred power. That's what happens when you've walked through your own hell and kissed the floor of your own death and said, I'm still here. The demonic vibration teaches you to stop outsourcing your strength. It forces you to go inward and find the divine within the dirt, the gold within the grief, the God within the grit. And now, let me tell you something that very few spiritual leaders will say. The greatest spiritual power comes when you stop trying to be spiritual. When you stop trying to be good. When you stop trying to ascend and instead ask, what parts of me need to be seen? You cannot evolve by denying your shadow. You evolve by integrating it. And the demonic vibration accelerates that process by bringing your shadow to the surface fast, raw, unedited. That's why it supercharges you. Because it doesn't wait. It doesn't coddle. It doesn't care about your comfort. It wants your transformation, and it wants it now. So the next time you feel the chaos rising, don't run. Don't numb it. Drop in. Ask it what it wants to show you. Ask it what it wants to free. Ask it what part of your power is ready to return. Because that's all it's ever been about. Not demons. Not darkness. Integration. Evolution. Sovereignty. You came here not to be saved. You came to remember who you were before the world told you to forget. And the demonic vibration, that's your wake-up call. Gods of the abyss, how the dark chosen one rewrites destiny. There comes a moment when the dark chosen one no longer seeks to change the world in the traditional sense. They begin to realize that the world is nothing more than a mirror of internal dominions, reflections of archetypes, energies, and frequencies they have either mastered or suppressed. And it is in this moment of realization that destiny becomes malleable. The demonic vibration, once feared and resisted, becomes the very force that cracks open the rigid architecture of fate. It is no longer something to be suppressed or expelled, but wielded, shaped into intention, molded into command. This is when the dark chosen one steps beyond healing, beyond awakening, and into creation. Creation not of art or form, but of realities. They stop asking what is meant to be, and start declaring, what I choose becomes. This is the highest function of demonic energy, not destruction, but genesis. In the ancient texts, long hidden from the masses, it was understood that demonic frequencies were the first architects of form. Before the light could shine, something had to move. The void had to ripple. The silence had to scream. That scream, raw, chaotic, primal, was the first act of creation. And today, when that scream rises in your soul, when that vibration shakes your body, it is not a curse. It is a signal, a summoning. The energy that once forged universes is now asking you to become its vessel. Can you feel the weight of that? Can you feel the honor in it? Can you feel the terror? Because true power always comes with a price, and that price is your old identity, your old story, your old gods. You begin to understand that you are no longer living in a story. You are writing it, not just for yourself, but for the collective unconscious. Every time you reclaim a shadow, you rewrite a law of limitation. Every time you embody your rage without shame, your hunger without guilt, your fear without collapse, you rewrite the myth of what a human being can be. This is the true meaning of sovereignty, not independence from others, but independence from the programming that shaped your reality before you were even born. Most people are living out a script written by ancestors who were never free. But the dark chosen one? We burn the script, we become the author, and we do not write in ink, we write in fire. And now we must speak of something few are ready to face the cost of this path: the loneliness, the exile, the loss of belonging. When you walk the road of the abyss, you will lose people. You will lose comfort. You will lose your place in the world as it was. But what you gain cannot be measured. You gain access to realms beyond time. You gain communion with forces that do not operate under human laws. You gain the ability to look at your life, your lineage, your soul contracts, and say, no more. I choose something else. And the universe listens. Not because you begged, but because your vibration commands. That's what the demonic current teaches you: not how to plead for mercy, but how to speak with authority. Have you ever wondered why, in every culture, the figures who held the greatest transformational power were feared as much as they were revered? It's because they carried the dark codes. They knew how to walk between worlds. They knew the names of spirits others dare not whisper. They faced the dragon not to slay it, but to ride it. And when they returned, they carried something in their eyes, a flame that said, I have seen what lies beyond form, and I am not afraid. That flame is not metaphorical. It is energetic. When you carry the demonic vibration alchemized, people feel you before you speak. You shift the air. You alter timelines. You bend reality around the force of your will. Not through ego, through alignment with the primal laws of existence. So here is your final and most sacred question. Are you ready to move beyond destiny? Are you ready to stop waiting for signs, for permission, for prophecy? Are you ready to become the god of your own abyss? Because that is what you are. Not a victim, not a seeker, not even a light worker. You are a creator encoded with the chaos that birthed stars and the silence that holds galaxies. The demonic vibration was never here to enslave you. It was here to unlock you. And now, the key is in your hand. The darkness no longer waits. It asks you to choose not with fear, not with doubt, but with fire. What will you build with it? What will you destroy with it? And most importantly, who will you become?